And I'm your host, Pesa Shayo.
And this is the place where we believe that every marriage out there has a chance to be awesome and long-lasting.
Yes, every marriage has a chance to be awesome and fulfilling.
And as always, you guys can reach out to us on social media. I'm at Whitney Shayo on Twitter.
And I'm at Pesa Shayo on Twitter.
Also, you can like us on Facebook,
which is Facebook.com/Live Your Best Marriage.
And of course, you can always go back to the place where it started, which is liveyourbestmarriage.com/blog.
Oh, yeah. So, what are we talking about today, Whitney?
So, first, we just wanted to remind everybody that this is a place for encouragement, and we always hope that we can be a source of inspiration and just be a resource to couples who might be going through a tough time, and maybe you feel like you've tried everything. You tried buying gifts, you tried showing affection, or you tried going for date nights and you're still stuck. It didn't work. So, and my question always is, well, what do you do then? What are we supposed to do when we feel like we've tried everything we can, but it still isn't working?
Or is it even worth to continue trying? Or is it, should we quit?
Right. So, we are not counselors. We are just a real couple with real problems. And sometimes it's just nice to hear other people's stories and see that they've gone through it too, and that you're not the only one. So what I would say is, yes, it is worth it to keep trying. It is totally worth it. And I think the only thing we're left with after we feel as though we've tried everything is just love.
Oh, yeah. It's just love.
Love is all we have when we reach, what feels like a breaking point. And love is the only thing strong enough to just hold it all together. So.
And then when you say love, are you talking about the selfless love where you are just giving, but you don't expect something in return?
I think love really says that no one is perfect, including myself, and I can afford to show some grace. I can afford to give this person a break.
Okay.
I think that's what love says. In marriage, a lot of times, it's just remembering that I shouldn't be seeking perfection.
So you should not be seeking for perfection from yourself or from your spouse?
From our spouse, because it can be really tough sometimes. You feel like, oh my gosh, when is this going to get better? When are we going to be able to break through this communication wall that we have between us? But all I can say is, really, love is the only thing you have left at the end of all of that, because you just go through so many emotions and different feelings. And so that's really the best encouragement, the best advice anyway, that I could give.
And to me, I like your advice because it tells me that, hey, at the end of it all, there is love. And when somebody is actually going through a tough time, they're trying to talk to their spouse and things are not working the way they thought, there's always a feeling like, oh, now it's the best time to actually leave because things won't really work out. There's no need to stay. At that time, it's the best time to remind yourself that you are committed into this relationship and you are in here till death do us apart.
And also, if one person feels as though they're trying harder than the other person is, that can be really, really challenging. And so what I would do if I was in that situation and I felt like I was the only one who was really, really trying to find a solution and the other spouse was the one, well, I don't want to say messing up, but I think you get what I mean. The other spouse is just doesn't have the right attitude, maybe. What I would do is I would ask myself, okay, if I was having a hard time, would I want someone to give me a break?
Oh yeah.
If the roles were reversed, that's what I mean.
When the roles if the roles are reversed, we tend to understand where we are coming from. We tend to see our point better. So when the roles are reversed, we'll be expecting that somebody will see where we are coming from, because we were in the situation and we understand where we are coming from. But when
you mean as an individual?
As an individual. So if the roles were reversed, and let's say I'm not giving you a break, but if the roles were reversed and I'll be expecting that you will be giving me a break, because I understand where I came from. I understand myself. So I'm very, is it objective? When it comes to myself. Mm-hmm. So when it comes to myself, I'm very objective. But when it comes to, no, it's the opposite. When it comes to you, the other person, I'm very objective. Mm-hmm. This is what was expected of you, and you did not meet the expectations. Mm-hmm. But when it's about me, that's when somebody becomes very subjective. They're like, yes, that was what was expected, mm-hmm. but there was other circumstances that came into the situation, so give me a break. Right. If it makes sense, yeah.
Yeah, and so I think the best place to start is just to go ahead and ask that question. If the roles were reversed, would I want someone to give me a chance?
Yeah, the answer is yes.
Would I want my spouse to be patient with me if I was the one not really appreciating the depth of the situation, or if I was the one not as serious as what the situation calls for, I think. But also, even just the fact that we named our blog Live Your Best Marriage, actually that's what it means, is live your best marriage.
Not somebody else's.
Yeah, not someone else's.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So, because what works for others might not work for you, and vice versa. What works for you might not work for someone else.
Yes.
So, when we see all these pictures on Facebook of other couples, and we just wish that we could keep up, or mm-hmm. we wish that we were as happy as they are. And I do the quote thing because we never really know if they're as happy as they look. Yeah,
we never know. And they usually, when you're posting something on Facebook, you show your best.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But when I'm evaluating, when I'm looking at Facebook, and I know my worst situation. So I'm looking at your best situation, and I'm transposing it on my worst situation. And I'm like, how can it be that they are so happy while I know my worst situation, mm-hmm. my worst fears, my imperfections. Mm-hmm. So I put it on top of that, and I'm like, my whole life should be as this perfect couple that I'm seeing on Facebook or Instagram.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's very easy to compare yourself to the things that you see, and it simply is just that. Live your best marriage. Whatever works for your family.
Yes.
Go ahead and do that. Don't try to find a match out there with some other scenario, someone else's family, someone else's problems, someone else's solution. I mean, it's really nice mm-hmm. It's really helpful to get tips.
Yes.
But I think even here at Live Your Best Marriage, when we do give tips, we just are throwing ideas out there. We're definitely not trying to provide a one-size-fits-all solution.
Yes.
And I think really our main goal is just to be a source of encouragement.
Yes, a source of encouragement. And when you get the ideas from us, or if you pick some tips from us, it's not saying like you need to be rigid and just try to
Mm-hmm.
apply that directly to your marriage. Yes, you can if you want to, but sometimes that can actually spark some creativity in you, and then you can use that as a foundation in solving some of the problems that you're having in your marriage. So it's not just directly use this. We are not giving you a template to live your life. We are actually giving you ideas where you can spark some creativity in your mind. That way you can use that with your spouse and maybe solve some of the problems you're going through.
Right, exactly. That's exactly right. And also, we really want to be an inspiration. And what I mean by that is we want other couples out there to see that they're not the only ones who might be having issues.
Yes.
Or disagreements, and we just don't want that misconception to continue. The one about people believing that, well, if you have a great marriage, then you don't have disagreements.
Okay.
Or if you have disagreements, that means you're fighting too much. But
yes.
You can have a different opinion and it's still not a fight.
No.
You can have a disagreement without it turning into an argument. So,
but that needs a lot of maturity, because for a lot of folks, we believe that if there's a disagreement, that means we are, as you had said, we are not great. And the fact that we are having a disagreement, that means we are not soulmates or in sync with each other, which I totally disagree with. But we've met quite a few couples who think if they did not agree on everything, that means they are not meant to be.
Right. And also going back to the question that we asked a few minutes ago of, would I want the other person to give me a chance if, if the roles were reversed? And so another thing we like to talk about in that aspect is just the fact that there is no exact puzzle piece out there for you.
Yes.
There's no, there's no perfect spouse waiting for you after you get divorced. Because, and here at Live Your Best Marriage, we like to talk about the fact that compatibility really is not a major issue.
Can you say that again? Can you say that again?
You don't have to be 100% compatible.
So you're not a mirror image of each other?
No.
Okay.
No. And trust me, you would rather be different. You would rather have opposing views. You would rather, because those are the things that make life interesting. Sometimes it might not feel interesting, but the truth is, if you were exactly the same, it would be really boring. But the funny thing is, you would still fight.
And
even if you had a lot of things in common and you feel like you're perfectly compatible, you would still disagree on some things.
Oh yeah.
So,
and is that I was reading on the paper the other day that there's a new trend. Maybe I think I told you there's a new trend that's happening in America where actually women, they said actually women, that it's called monogamy or whatever. Anyway, they are getting married to themselves.
Yeah.
What is that?
I just call it marrying themselves.
Okay, yeah, that. And they were saying, and they are saying that this marrying yourself.
It's not funny. I shouldn't have laughed.
It's funny. Like, I don't see why you marry yourself.
Yeah, so they have the ring. They give themselves a ring. I did see that article with yes. I saw that.
So and they were saying that you're getting married to yourself because you don't want to deal with the opposing views of somebody else. You just want because you don't fight with yourself.
Right.
And you don't have to deal with another human being telling you what to do.
Yes.
And because I view marriage as something that completes you, but they were viewing it as a hassle. So the best thing to do is you just love yourself, and because of self-love, you go ahead and marry yourself. What do you think of that?
And they can complete themselves.
Yes.
Well, when I first read that article, I really felt bad. I really felt... I personally would not choose that route.
You never marry yourself?
I would not, because I felt...
You're not into yourself?
I just think that would be a lonely way to live. I don't know. That's what I thought.
Mm-hmm.
That's really how I looked at it. And then I heard, I think a pastor or someone else make a comment about it being selfish.
Okay.
Like they are just so self-absorbed that they don't even want to try to get along with a spouse. But I don't know. Selfishness wasn't even the first thing that came to my mind. Loneliness is what was my first reaction to that.
And I guess...
So that's what I think. To answer your question, that's what I think. It would not work for me. I would be really...
You're more of a...
I would not want to give myself a ring. I would not want to just be alone.
So how are they having these weddings? Are they like going to a church? Are they having like what kind of weddings
I
are
don't
these?
I don't know. I really
So
don't
they're
know.
standing in front of an altar by themselves?
I really don't know.
And somebody's actually marrying them, or it's just...
I didn't... The article that I saw didn't go that far into detail, but then one of my friends on Facebook said that she's going to make a promise to herself to not get hurt anymore. So that was why she's doing it.
Oh, okay.
So I guess there's
hurt emotionally or physically?
Probably emotionally, but...
You see, this is why you don't want to get married. I mean, you see, he doesn't get it, right?
Everybody has probably their own view of it. Everybody has their own idea. But I just, to me, I view even just the word marriage, I view it as a union. You're bringing two people together.
Okay.
It's not, I don't see how one by itself could have a union. So to me,
a union of one.
I wouldn't call it a marriage.
It's
maybe
like,
they can.
You just stay single.
Maybe single, or maybe call it a commitment to yourself or something. But yeah, I wouldn't call it a marriage.
I thought we are always committed to ourselves.
The same way I hear people talk about open marriage. In my opinion, if it's that way, then there is no marriage. Because there's no commitment to anyone. So
okay, and I guess they are saying it's marriage because there's a legal document that's called a marriage certificate, which they haven't gotten a divorce yet.
They're married, but they're not keeping the commitment, so I wouldn't really
call it a marriage.
I wouldn't call it a marriage
because it's everything else except a marriage. Really.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So.
Okay, and you had brought up an issue a few days ago. I heard you talk to some folks when you were talking about like how Facebook now is able to track. Facebook is able to track how you can get, like when you're getting together.
Oh yeah, Facebook. I don't know if it was Facebook who released the study, but someone did a study where in the first 100 days, when a relationship is about to start, so when two people are cheating on the relationship they're currently in those first 100 days, you can see an increase in liking each other.
So this is when somebody's cheating?
When they're cheating.
Okay.
Or when a relationship is, so it's about to start.
Okay.
They're flirting.
Okay.
There's an increase in the amount of things that they like from one another.
From the other person.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then they showed a graph where at the end of the 100 days they get together. They officially announce on their timeline that they're in a relationship.
Okay.
And then you could gradually see on the graph the likes going down. They kind of chill out a little bit. Because
they're together, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then shortly after that, they break up.
So so the number of likes are going up as they're not in a relationship, but they're
becoming more acquainted and they're flirting. Things are starting to to heat up.
To heat
So
up.
that was.
So there's an increase of likes, which makes sense,
Right.
and then there's a peak. So the peak of so the number of likes peak up before they engage. They state on Facebook that they are together,
Yeah.
and then after they make the announcement, the number of likes goes down.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And
Things
then-
kind of cool down a little bit after they officially announce that they are together.
So you would propose. What would you propose?
So, well, a lot
Like,
of
what have you learned from that?
well, married people
Mm-hmm.
were talking about it in terms of how should we behave when we're on Facebook if we're married.
Okay.
Should we really like someone of the opposite sex status, a
Somebody
whole
else.
bunch? Yeah, should we really, if we know our spouse can see it or whether they can see it or not, should we really like over and over and over again a specific person's status or pictures or videos or whatever? It was just, I think for people who are married, they were coming from the point where it looked suspicious.
So what looks suspicious?
If you like someone, a specific person's posts over and over and over again.
Okay.
It was just, so they were tying that together with what happens in those first 100 days. It was just,
And then now it becomes the issue of if somebody clicks like,
yeah.
do they really like,
So that
or
was,
is it just they've just made an action with their finger and they click something? Did
That-
they really like it, or is something going on their timeline they just click?
that's where the problem was coming up, is should you really do that over and over and over again, because your spouse is probably going to assume that you really do like the person you're liking.
So the word like means there's an affection. So every time you click
Yeah.
like, that means you actually.
Well, or just the fact, even because, well, there's so many different reaction buttons
Yes.
now. So just the fact that you are reacting.
Oh, okay. So,
So
the
many
issue
times.
is the fact that you are noticing it, you are
Yeah.
reacting,
Yeah.
and that they are saying that actually from the evidence, it actually is bringing people together. And the more you react, after 100 days, Facebook is showing that these folks end up getting together.
You know?
And Facebook has more data, a lot of data of because there's I think 1 billion people using Facebook.
I think it's more
Yes.
than 1 billion.
So they have a lot of data.
They do.
Yes.
They do have a lot of information. That is a really complex topic, and we could do a whole episode just on that.
Yes.
Just on the information they found. Because I think the more I talk about it right now, I'm probably just confusing myself and confusing everyone else. But I would really love to dig deeper into that issue and see, what really happened. And the reason why that issue was even being brought up is because people are stating on their divorce papers that Facebook was an issue.
Oh, really?
So
they're
and
just
it's-
saying Facebook?
people are saying Facebook, and
Not even cheating?
No, and this is something that was happening a few years back in England. Quite a few couples were stating Facebook as the reason,
Mhm.
but now in the United States, they've seen an increase
Of
in
people
this.
just saying,
Saying
I'm getting
Facebook.
divorced because of Facebook. It's like, because I know there was a time where people were connecting with their high school sweethearts on Facebook.
Yeah.
So that was I don't know if it's still going on, but it was a big thing with the senior citizens, the older couples who would connect with somebody who they knew in high school,
Yeah.
but they had not been in touch for so many years, and now once they rekindle their relationship, they actually start cheating.
Yeah, and it's probably not just senior citizens. It's how old officially are you if you're a senior citizen?
I don't know, 60 or 55.
Is it 59?
Something
like that. This was actually the high school sweetheart thing is something that actually happens to a lot of people of different ages. So it's definitely a problem.
It's definitely a problem, yeah.
It really is. It really is because they say that it starts out with the private messaging.
Oh.
Messenger.
Yes.
And then it just kind of gradually builds from there. They decide to meet in person, and then from that point on, it's pretty much a gone case after that. But I don't want to say gone case, but they have a lot of problems.
And I think one time our pastor brought up that issue, and he's like, it's not a big deal that you. It's like it's not a big deal that after so many years you just came back and you picked up where you left. Mm-hmm. He's like try living with somebody for 30 years and then it's a big deal mm-hmm. that you're still together with them because now you've lived with them, you've seen all their cockiness. I mean, everything is crazy and mm-hmm. you're still, after 30 years, you're still with them.
Right.
So he was like, yeah, it's not a big deal that...
you see someone that you went to high school with 35 years ago, and then you strike up a conversation just like you would have in the good old days.
Yes.
Don't be surprised by that.
He's like, be surprised by the fact that you can live with somebody for 30 years mm-hmm. and still be in love with them. Yes. That is where because if you can live with somebody for that many years and see them every day, and when you're having a great day they're there, but when you're having a bad day they're still there bugging you. And I mean that is where the issue is. Mm-hmm. And that's why Live Your Best Marriage, we love to encourage folks just to remind you that, hey, this is not, you're always going to be like, everything's going to be perfect. Mm-hmm. But we're here to encourage you during those times when you are like, oh my God, what's going on here? I can't deal with her anymore, or mm-hmm. I can't deal with him anymore. We're here to remind you that even mm-hmm. during those times, your marriage can be awesome and fulfilling. And actually, using creativity and prayer and all that, and try to get yourself out of that crazy situation is more fulfilling.
Yeah.
Yes.
There's always a way to make it better. But also, we want to remind you guys that this is not therapy. We're not doctors. We're not psychiatrists. We're not trying to fix you. You don't need to be fixed.
Yes.
And your spouse doesn't need to be fixed.
Yes.
This is just a place where you can get encouragement to really just be reminded, I think.
To live your best marriage.
Yeah, live your best marriage, and that it is possible to have a happy, enjoyable, long life together.
Oh yeah.
As a team.
Oh yes.
That's pretty much it.
Yes. So folks, we really enjoy having this podcast, and don't forget to subscribe. We are on iTunes or Stitcher, TuneIn, or wherever you go and get your podcasts. And we'd really love you to subscribe so that you never miss any of this podcast. And if you're watching this on YouTube, just subscribe to our channel, our YouTube channel, and click to get the notifications through YouTube. So folks, until next time, bye and God bless.
Are you tired of being upset, lonely, feeling empty, or just plain frustrated with your marriage? And no matter how hard you try, you're not getting anywhere, just going in circles? No matter how much you try to make time for one another in your schedule, or how many times you say, I'm sorry, Pesa and I have put together 99 ideas to help you connect with that one special person so that things can start to be more like the way they were before everyday life got in the way and caused the two of you to drift apart. We want you to have 99 ways to show love to your spouse absolutely free. You can find it at 99waystoshowlovetoyourspouse.com. Because here at Live Your Best Marriage, we truly hope that the two of you can move closer together and enjoy the connection that comes from achieving a stronger bond. Again, that's 99 ways to show love to your spouse.com. That's the number 99 ways to show love to your spouse.com.